Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In this opportunity, I would like to read my script about betta fish. Betta fish, or commonly known as the kanjupang, are the fish that can live in the water that is lacking in oxygen. Because it's very easy to maintain and cultivate this fish, recently, betta fish have become the prima donna for fish lover. This tiny fish is known for its beauty as an ornamental fish. No wonder nowadays there are so many people who want to keep it. In fact, there are also so many beginners. Not a few of them also want to cultivate betta fish. Unfortunately, some people still don't understand how to cultivate betta fish at home. Actually, betta fish farming is so easy, especially they don't need a large area. Are you curious about how to cultivate betta fish at home? See the following information review. Way to cultivate betta fish is to choose a betta fish brood. You must be able to make sure that the female and male series have entered the mature phase or are ready to mate. To distinguish between female and male betta fish is not difficult. Male betta fish have the characteristic of widened fins, white fluffy tail, large body, agile movement, and bright color. Meanwhile, female betta fish have the characteristic of short fins, shorter tail, smaller body, slow motion, and dull color. The characteristic of betta fish have been cooked or ready to marry is as follows. Betta fish, female betta fish, slow motion, have a short fin, an attractive dull color, rounded body shape, the belly of the little bulk, about 3 or 5 months old. And about the male betta fish, they have characteristics like move agile and aggressive, long fins, the color is bright, attractive, long body shape, about 4 until 8 months old. Betta fish spawning and livestock. How to cultivate betta fish next is the spawning process. At this stage, you only need to prepare a small bowl or aquarium container measuring 20 centimeter each mating. Betta fish can produce 500 eggs. The eggs will hatch within 24 hours after fertilization. However, from the usual for 500 items times with intervals of 1 to 2 weeks. However, female series can be mated up to 3 times with more special treatment in 2 weeks. How to cultivate betta fish spawning stage. The next method of cultivating betta fish is the advanced spawning stage. There are 9 points that you need to pay attention if you want to cultivate betta fish at home. There are 9 points of betta fish spawning stage. The first, fill the spawning grounds with the clean water, 10 until 15 centimeters. For the record, use clear river water or groundwater. Precipitate the water at least for about 1 night. Avoid using tap water that smells of chlorine and bottled water. Number 2, add water planes and add water. Add water planes to the container. The goal is to serve as a place for young fish to take shelter. However, aquatic planes should not be placed too densely because they can take up oxygen in the water. Number 3, enter the male betta fish. Let the male betta fish stay in the container for 1 day. Later, male betta fish will create air bubbles. which are useful for storing fertilized eggs. Number 4. Enter the female betta. After the male fish make bubbles, you can enter the female sires. Usually the spawning time occurs around 7 till 10 a.m. or 4 until 6 p.m. Keep in mind, betta fish will be very sensitive when mating. For this reason, cover the container with newspaper and keep the container away from people noise. Raise the female sires. After fertilization occurs, remove the female sires immediately. This is because those who were responsible to looking after and raising the pups are the male betta fish. Number 6. Let the male breeders take care of the fry. Let the fry be graded by the male broodstock. Let the fry swim smoothly, usually only for 7 days, after which you can leave the male breed. Number 7. Try to the rearing place. Move the After 7 days, you can move the fry to the place of rearing. Do it careful because at this age the fry are still very vulnerable. Number 8. Provide food. At the age of 0 until 4 days, the fry don't need to be fed because they still have egg yolk to spare. After 4 days, you can already feed the fry with water, fleece, or artemia. After 1 month, you can feed the silkworms. Harvest period. Betta fish can be harvested at the age of 4 until 5 months, but they must be separated at the age so as not to fight because these fish are territorial fish. They will usually fight to the death, so they must be separated to prevent it so as not to fight and to keep the tail from being deformed. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you for your attention and don't forget to like and subscribe my YouTube channel. See you guys. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.